Welcome to A Talk, Season 3, where two guys talk out of their a-holes. And what would be the use for laser eyes other than just burning through a blast door for whatever reason, or burning through a safe and
You
stealing
could
money?
just look at someone and like, hey man, your dick's on fire, and it's like, what? And you would look down and you just activate the laser eyes, and you just,
That's
surprise,
interesting. Yeah.
surprise D-hole.
Well, I guess it would be more entertaining to have X-ray eyes,
Yeah, but then you'd just be able to, see
see
their,
people's skeletons, I guess,
yeah,
because people are thinking, yeah, this looks through clothes, but
yeah, it
or
doesn't.
just eyes that can look through canvas and
Just
everything. Yeah.
imagine you could just toggle in your head what you could look through.
Okay, now we're talking big.
Yeah, that
Yeah, that would be
you
cool.
just like, this chick has so and so many layers of clothes on. Let's just remove that, remove that, remove. Oh, she.
Yeah, and you could be like walking across the street. There's somebody you would like to look at who lives in a certain house that you're close to. You can just look through every part of the house and only
Yeah,
see that person walking. And when they're upstairs, they're just walking on nothing in the air, which is interesting. And you can even
yeah,
shout at them and they probably won't hear you
yeah, because
because the building is in the way, but you can't see it. That's really cool. Yeah. That'd be an interesting idea. Oh, dude, imagine
that,
like you can't fly, but you have those special X-ray eyes that you can choose to look through whatever, and you're sitting in a plane, and you just decide to look through the entire plane, and
yeah.
the plane is flying for you, and you're just sitting there at ease on nothing, as far as you know. You're just feeling a comfortable chair, but not seeing jack shit, and it's
That would be
it's
weird.
interesting.
Until you just wake up, you're like flying super fast, 700 kilometers per hour or something, like just straight through the air. They're like, what the? Everyone would think that
What
you're a
if a
weirdo.
bird flies into the engine though, and you see it flying in nothing and just being eviscerated?
That would have been
Oh
hardcore.
man. You'd be the only person who would actually love that. You
Yeah,
sick individual.
I don't know though. Just see this little tiny little bird just be dead.
Just getting mold. Its corpse just being turned into dust.
Have you seen what they did? What they did to like a meat grinder? Meat goes into meat grinder. It's kind of like
I like that you've studied the SFX. Yeah.
yeah, SFX. Shit, that's a
Oh
cool
man.
name for it.
I have a bucket of popcorn though. You ain't got shit on me.
No man, no. No, it's just what if you had this back to this electricity
Mm.
power. What you could just run around. You could ride on it's in the game as well. When you can ride the actual what this these poles where with wires and electricity travels across the country and across
Yeah.
it's when these giant poles are carrying wires that go around a certain
There's a
area.
game that you can play that you can ride that on.
Yeah, you can just ride them like I don't know how I can explain it, but I assume people that already played the game
What is it?
will know what I'm talking. It's called Infamous.
Oh. Oh yeah. I'll give
Uh,
that a try.
it's on the PlayStation only, so
What? That's bad.
yeah.
Wow.
Didn't really. Because I have a PlayStation, so I don't care, But it's like you could ride these wires like super fast, and again, it would be limited by your mind, the power of imagination and all that bullshit.
That's true. What about fire though? Channeling
Yeah,
fire?
fire. That's what I was getting to. This anime series that I used to watch, or at least I actually watched the new season that was coming out. But anyways, it's called Avatar. It's kind of like it's sick. I think it's super hardcore. A lot of people are gonna call me gay for saying that, but I don't care.
Well, I've
it's
seen a bit of it and it's quite
it's
good. I
it's
mean,
it's kind of cool. It's like you have the four elements, including fire, earth, air, and water, and people can bend these elements at will, or doing their will. So fire benders can like shoot flames through their hands. And same
Okay.
with, or water
It's
and
just
earth.
manipulating
Yeah,
the
manipulate.
outcomes of an element. Yeah.
However, you could not, with water and air and earth, you cannot just spawn fire, or, spawn earth, because you have to manipulate the earth that is already there. And air is everywhere, so that's not the issue. But with fire,
Okay.
because basically fire is just temperature. But if we're gonna go into the physics of it, we're gonna find that there's a lot of flawed shit in there.
Yeah, because
But
superpowers cannot exist, and going into the physics of superpowers is just a
um,
fucking anachronism. Can't do that shit.
no can do. But yeah,
But
you
yeah,
just run around shooting flames through your
considering that, do you
fists.
think there's actually a superpower that is physically possible to have?
Oh, I would not know.
Perhaps a DNA mutation that would allow you to do something special?
I don't know which chemicals that can be produced in the body
Maybe.
is can make you actually shoot flames out of certain holes in your body or whatever, like dragons breathe fire.
Yeah, but dragons cannot exist.
No,
Yeah.
cannot exist.
Hmm. What about, I'm thinking, it's relatively minor power, I suppose. But what if something happens that changes your DNA to some extent that you can just whatever you harm with, for example, your fingernails or something that you cause a wound with, like a sharp outlet of your body, could poison someone.
Hmm.
That's
That
a
is possible.
relatively minor thing that I think perhaps has a slight possibility.
Yes, but
Or
it's kind
if,
of racist.
or maybe, or maybe to make it actually even more possible, if some of your blood, or maybe even saliva when it gets really far, touches something else, that person dies. But somehow you have, because you possess this power, you also possess a resistance to it yourself, so that it kind of works as a constant antidote. That means that you
Yeah,
can survive with it.
you just swallow your own spit and you'd be fine.
Yeah. But the other person is not. If you, for example, just spit in his eye, it'll burn or whatever. I don't know.
Hmm.
But not like acid, but yeah.
Yeah, kind of like acid.
Hmm.
That'd be,
Sorry, man. This popcorn is really good.
yeah. I can imagine. Well, if we're going to the core of what's the really most, hardcore superpowers you could have, what if, you're talking about flying and flying and, shooting flames out of your fists and, etc. What we just gone through. What if you could have the ability, because, all of this is actually just energy. You know, fly requires energy. Fire requires energy because, it's temperature and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what if you had the ability? Because everyone knows that energy cannot be created nor destroyed or cease to exist. There's a fixed amount of energy in the universe.
Yeah.
So what if you had the ability to actually create and destroy or diminish or whatever energy?
Hmm. That would
And
actually be very interesting because energy presents itself in many ways.
yeah, this is temperature, for example,
Yes. Hmm.
electric energy, so if you had the ability to create or spawn energy, you could actually do all these, electrocution things. You could shoot electric
I
bolts
suppose, yeah. And
or
that would be a lot more interesting than being able to be your own generator and not have to pay any electric bills.
yeah,
Or water bills, perhaps. I just
into
wonder what would
combustion
happen
engine.
if. Now, this is a bit of an advance on the subject, but if you have a kind of superpower that can turn out to be a very destructive thing, for example, just if that power could lead you to being a supervillain or something like that,
Oh yeah.
I wonder how that would affect you and how realistic it would be. If you're a supervillain, but as far as that goes, you have a superpower and you just commit a series of crimes with the help of your superpower. I'm interested in knowing how people would try to stop you
Huh,
and to what
yeah.
extent it would be possible.
If you
Like
could
of course,
shoot flames out of your fists, no one could stop you. Or they could stop you if they sniped you while you were sleeping, but still, you'd
I
have
suppose, yeah, that would be
immense
easy.
power.
That would be the thing, right? So I wonder how far the world would go to be able to stop you. For example, like, what if your superpowers were really outrageous? You don't need sleep, you don't need food or for saturation, you don't need anything.